Ruth Davidson attacked Nicola Sturgeon today over controversial police chief Phil GormleyThe First Minister was today forced to defend Michael Matheson in the deepening row over accusations he interfered in a watchdog's decision over whether police Scotland's chief constable could resume his duties. Mr. Gormley remains on special leave while allegations of bullying against him, which he denies, are investigated. Mr. Matheson has been under intense pressure after it emerged last week. No minutes were taken during his controversial meeting with former Scottish Police Authorities Part Chairman Andrew Flanagan. Senior Justice Civil Servant Paul Johnston also met Mr. Gormley at the height of the standoff last November after his lawyers raised concerns about the intervention. Chief Constable Phil Gormley remains on leave whilst bullying accusations are investigated. This is about whether the Justice Secretary acted unlawfully by directing the Scottish Police Authority to stop the Chief Constable coming back to work against their own recommendations. It's the SNP's secret Scotland and it stinks. Ruth Davidson. Scottish Tory leader Ruth Davidson branded it a fiasco as she challenged Ms. Sturgeon over the issue during her weekly question session at Holyrood. She also accused Mr. Matheson of trying to close down questions over his role in the affair and demanded a change in the law to make scrutiny of the national force more transparent. Hitting out at the shocking lack of records, Ms. Davidson said this is about whether the Justice Secretary acted unlawfully by directing the Scottish Police Authority to stop the Chief Constable coming back to work against their own recommendations. It's the SNP's secret Scotland and it stinks. It is clear that the legal framework does not ensure proper accountability, and we say it is time to amend the law so that it is Parliament, not the government, that has more power over our national force. 2. July 6, 2017. Ruth Davidson serves ice cream at Valentina's Ice Cream Parlour in Giffnock, south of Glasgow. But Ms. Sturgeon insisted Mr. Matheson acted entirely appropriately, and said opposition parties would have been quick to criticise the minister if he had failed to check that procedures had been followed. The First Minister added, "The hypocrisy of the Tories on this is quite breathtaking. The Justice Secretary did his job and he did his job properly on behalf of the people of this country." Ms. Sturgeon also said the division of responsibilities over Police Scotland were clear, and that, of course, the decisions about the employment of the Chief Constable are for the Scottish Police Authority. Mr. Gormley's lawyer has previously said there was no lawful basis for the minister to intervene after the SPA held a closed meeting when it was agreed that he could return to his £214,000 a year post. Days later, Mr. Matheson complained to Mr. Flanagan about due process not being followed. He has denied exceeding his authority by instructing the SPA to reverse its decision and says he was questioning clear deficiencies in the decision-making process. Mr. Matheson has insisted that he could work with Mr. Gormley again if the Chief Constable returned to his post. On Tuesday it emerged Mr. Gormley faces a sixth complaint following a misconduct allegation from a senior civilian worker. His solicitors questioned the timing of the claims, suggesting it was related to publicity surrounding his potential return to work.